Communications Plus did not start when our first store Meadowbrook opened in November 2006. Steve didn't even know this, but the values, behaviours and components we have today started in the wholesale fruit and veg market in Liverpool. Steve's dad's business was in the market, and when he was 14 he began his experience at the sharp end of the commercial world, working there during the school holidays. The market was to form the basis for the future. Getting up early, starting work at 4 o'clock in the morning, working and communicating with all levels of people, from the stereotypical Scouse barra boy to highly successful business people. He was later to describe customers in the same way, either Jimmy from the Demi or Bill Braithwaite QC. You always need to be able to communicate and build rapport. Then came Steve's big first commercial lesson. He was around 20 at the time. Aldi and Asda were advertising bananas at 19 pence per pound. Steve was selling them for 20 pence a pound, and they were the biggest independent wholesaler of bananas in the whole of Europe. Now the supermarkets were making it really tough for the people in the market. A lot of these businesses actually closed down. However, the fruit market still exists today. These traders that were prepared to fight, go the extra mile, work harder and smarter than the rest are still trading one way or another. They didn't stand still and become a victim. They made things happen and changed the outcome. More than half of the market is now closed, blaming everything from the supermarkets to the economy. Anything rather than actually doing something different and changing that very disappointing outcome. This is what we call the Valley of Excuses. Encouraged by his dad, Steve's next stop is sunny California. There he had a job selling carpet and hardwood floor at Carpets Plus. Many of you will have heard about the world famous Cindy McLeod. Cindy was Steve's boss. She was structured in everything that she did. Steve took a massive lesson from her. She worked by a 10-stage sales process, and because he thought she was fantastic, he bought into this process. She looked after him and taught him a great deal. She gave him structure, confidence and belief. In 1994, Steve decided after being in Southern California, he was coming home. This was over 20 years ago now. He got his second proper job, and he was working for a gentleman called Mike McComb at Lenton & McComb Communications, soon to become the mobile phone store. Mike had 2 shops when Steve started, and he sold his 129 shops some 6 or 7 years later for a total of over £50 million. Steve quickly adapted his 10-stage sales structure into the mobile industry. He was very quickly managing his own team of staff, just as Cindy had managed him. He was then assessing stores and making recommendations regarding acquisition, interviewing and team building all over the country. And somewhere in between all of this, he met his lovely wife Lisa. Lisa became pregnant with Max, and he was born on the 10th of January 2000. All was great. He then learnt his next lesson. In 2000, the mobile phone store was sold to Cellnet. Steve was now working in the corporate environment. Cellnet had acquired MPS, DX, Martin Doors and the BT stores. The work was now about integrating these 4 different brands into one business. As part of the restructure, redundancies would have to be made, so the next thing he's applying for his own job. Good enough, he got what he considered was the best possible outcome. His own area, Liverpool, Manchester and Lancashire. Stores like the Trafford Centre, Preston and Liverpool Central Station were now part of his area. Then, on the 2nd of the 2nd, 2002, came the launch of O2. Steve's sales structure had caught the eye of the senior management, and as part of the launch he was put on a project to spread the word. O2 would use a sales structure across 500 stores. The structure is still used by us today. Energize. In 2005, Steve had just completed his secondment role running Central London. Then came the next big step. O2 Franchise. Franchise was still in its planning stage when he was asked to join the team to actually sell the franchise concept. Steve attended the training and swiftly told his line manager that he thought he would like to open a franchise store. He was told that he'd have to leave O2 and set up his own company. O2's target was to recruit 5 franchisees. Steve recruited the first 4 by himself. He quickly realised that he was now telling other people how to run their stores and ultimately make money. He knew that he could use everything that he had learned in the fruit market, California, NPS, and the corporate world, and he could open up his own store. Steve's strategy would be that he would recruit the best people, put them in the best possible locations, then do their jobs better than anyone else's and work harder than everybody else. We could not fail. He already had the sales structure, and now it was about having the discipline to be the best. The core strength of our business is structure and discipline, with our culture being disciplined. We are disciplined in everything that we do. Our essence of discipline is consistency, routine, and habitual behaviours, with our definition of discipline being routine things routinely and exceptional things exceptionally. We get paid our basic wage for doing the routine, and we get our bonuses for doing the exceptional. Exceptional is measured by sales and mainly customer experience. In 2006, Communications Plus Limited was born. The actual date was November the 23rd. The first store was Meadowbrook Retail Park. This is the reason why this time of year is when we celebrate our end of year party. Not only was it when our first store opened, but also it was the birth of Communications Plus. So this evening is also a celebration for Meadowbrook's 10-year anniversary. Within 6 months, Communications Plus was in a position where it was ready to grow. It was time for reinforcements. Michael McDade was brought in to be trained up and to be ready to open the second store, Coliseum at Cheshire Oaks. The vision was sold to Michael to get to 5 stores and be the best franchise in the world. In 2008, we were ready for the next 2 installments. We welcomed both Aintree and Eagles Meadow. We were then only 1 store away from the vision of 5. We took an approach that we had never taken before, and Steve bought out another franchisee, which gave us our 5th store in St. Anne's. The vision was achieved. In the same year, we moved from our little office in Steve's house to Alpine House in Rainford. We were growing. Using all the learnings from when we had taken over St. Anne's, we were ready for our next store, which came in 2011, and that was the Penrith store. 2012 was a huge year for Communications Plus. We were ready for our biggest step we had taken to date. We had an opportunity to open 4 brand new stores. This was O2's direction for new acquisition. So we opened Chester Broughton and Ellesmere Port Arcades. These 2 felt a little bit easier due to the fact that they were already within our group of stores. However, we opened up 2 other stores which were right out of our comfort zone over in the northeast, Bishop Auckland and Redcar. This may have been tough, but if anyone was going to do it, it was us. We had now doubled the vision. We had 10 awesome stores. We had always been looking for other locations to find out what the next move was, to find out how to grow the business more than we already had done. The next opportunity came in 2013 when O2 decided that we're going to do the Thelma programme. O2 made the decision they were going to franchise off 86 of their current stores. Within this process, we acquired 6 more stores: Bangor, Chorley, Kendal, Wrexham Hope Street, Accrington and Burnley. We were now up to 16 stores. In 2014, stores had gone quiet. However, our external teams hadn't. We'd been going from strength to strength and growing these external teams. Our SMB team, our CRM team and our Open team had grown massively. We had now outgrown Alpine House. Over the 12 months, there was something going on in the background. We had purchased a Methodist church and we had converted it into what is known today as Comms House, the O2 Business Centre, Rainford. If there were to be no more stores, then this was to be where we were going to conquer the world. Within 2014 and 2015, we invested heavily within our teams. That's from our part-timers right up to our senior team. We also won many awards along the way. Over 2015 and 2016, we were very, very unsure about what was happening. We couldn't move any further with new stores. We were waiting for O2 to tell us what the next step was. Hutchinson were looking at taking over O2 and buying them from Telefonica. However, in Q2 2016, the news broke that the deal was not going through. But in true Comms Plus style, we don't stand still. The conversations begin. It was time for us to acquire some new stores. So first up, was Oswestry. We bought this from a franchisee who only had one store. We were then looking at the next 3. We bought these from NS Connections. That was Ormskirk, Bootle and Lee. This then gave us a nice round number of 20 stores. Over the past 10 years we couldn't have done this without some unbelievable staff. I'd just like to name a few. Nazir Khan, Gareth Johnson, Anthony Kusel, Danny Dugan, Phil Horan, Mark Heslop, Nick Burke, Emily Tidbury, Rebecca Louise, Jennifer Case, Stacey Baldwin, Stevie Gray, Mike Rouse, and many, many more. I'd love to see every single person's name in this room, but we'd be here all night. But thank you very much to everybody. Without you, this journey would not have been possible. Over the past 10 years, Communications Plus have also given a lot back. We have sponsored so many charity events. We've donated so much to charities. We got all the staff together to actually raise money. Just to name a few, we have got Rainford Rangers FC, Rainford Cricket Club, North West Air Ambulance, Zoe's Place in the Monday Club, Search for Santa for underprivileged children. We raised over £8,000 in the first quarter of 2016 for NSPCC. We had 21 amazing individuals from our business that did a sponsored skydive, and one of our biggest chosen charities is the Marina Dalglish Appeal. In 2014 we decided to put 5 chosen individuals through the I2I Train the Trainer. This played a big part in us achieving our Investors in People. First time around, within 3 months we received Investors in People Gold, which is very, very unheard of. We actually received that award in 2015. 2015 was a massive year for Communications Plus. We were recognised as one of 1,000 companies to inspire Britain. We then went to the O210 Awards in November and we won O2 Franchise Choice Award, O2 Franchise Customer Award, and the biggest one was O2's Franchise of the Decade, going from 2005 to 2015. We were now recognised as being the best in the business over the longest period of time. In the background in 2015 we were actually working on something else. We'd been approached and we'd been asked to put in an application for a Queen's Award. This was around the middle of the year. We were told that we would find out if we'd made the next stage in the September, and then if we were successful, then the following year in the April we would actually find out if we'd got the award. In April 2016 we were then awarded the Queen's Award in Enterprise for Innovation. We were also told that no one had ever won this award for a method. This fantastic sales structure that we had talked about at the beginning, Energize, had now been recognised as being something that is absolutely fantastic and unique. Everything else that we have just spoken about also could not have been done if it hadn't been for this sales structure. This has helped us in everything that we do within our business. If we don't get it right with our customers, none of this can happen. The little extra thing that comes with this award is that Steve and Lisa went to meet the Queen at Buckingham Palace. I think that's Comms Plus in a nutshell. Back to you, Michael, in the studio.